Keibert Ruiz now available. First question's from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Keibert, felicidades. Congratulations on making your Major League debut. Can you take us a little bit through the emotions of what you were feeling when you found out and what this day was like for you?
Yeah, thank you. It was very exciting. I mean, first I've been in the big leagues. And I just was like focused on get a fastball and make a good contact, and happy to be here with all these guys and keep learning.
When did you find out that you were going to be making your debut?
It was yesterday during the practice. The day Robin, he come to me and he said, hey, you starting tomorrow. You got a D-May. I called my family right away.
Did it help a little bit that you have caught Dustin May so many times before?
Yeah, I caught him in Green Lakes, low A, and Rancho, double A, and triple A. Yeah, it was, helped me a little bit.
How long has this been a dream for you?
It was when I was 5 years old when I started playing baseball. I mean, it's the dream what all the players want to play in the big leagues.
What did Julio Teheran give you that you were just like waiting for that fastball?
Yeah, I mean, I was ready for the fastball, and thanks God I get a good contact.
I know that Travis Barbery was in the stands watching you today. How important was it for him to be able to witness your debut, considering everything he and his family have done for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very grateful with his family and him, and yeah, it was very exciting when I saw him here today at the stadium, and he's like my dad, and I'm very grateful with his family.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next question's from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Rowan.
Hey, Keibert, can you just kind of take us through what that's like when you hit that pitch and then to get to celebrate with your teammates in the dugout? Just what's that like?
It's fun, man. I mean, it's a dream come true. With all these guys, like a lot of players, and I just very grateful to be here and keep learning from them.
How much? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, very grateful to be here with the coach, and they helped me a lot, and yeah, keep learning.
How much had you been working on your swing at USC, and what were you trying to kind of do with your swing, especially the power during the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working a lot with Brownie, with all the coaches here, to make adjustment and get a better results. And I mean, I wanna keep working and see what happens.
Thank you.
Next question's from JP Hornstra. Go ahead, JP.
Hey, Keibert, congratulations, first of all. I saw your teammate try to go get the baseball, and I'm just wondering if you got the ball and where that ball is going.
It's going to my house, with my mom, my dad, I mean, to our family. I mean, thank God for this moment. It's a very good moment.
Talking to some of your coaches, it sounds like you were able to work out a lot and get a lot of good development in after spring training was postponed, but before you came here to Los Angeles for summer camp. Can you just talk about what you did and some of the improvements you made during that time?
Yeah, I was working in Arizona. Like I said before, with Brownie, working on my lower half with my legs, and I was jumping a little bit. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna keep working and be focused for the next time, next opportunity.
And I'd heard that your power from the left side had really come a long way at USC, and that you were hitting just really tall, high arcing home runs over the scoreboard. How did today's home run compare? Was this a kind of home run that you could have hit a year ago?
Están hablando de tu poder del lado izquierdo allá en USC, que está pegando muchos balones altos. Es algo que se viene desarrollando hace un año.
Sí, yo digo que, yeah, I say that, yeah, like I said, I've been working, and when I get to USC, I get more bats and I feel better, and yeah, I get taller a little bit, don't jump with my leg, and like I said, I'm gonna keep focus on that and keep working, keep learning from these guys and from this team.
Thank you.
Una pregunta de Claudia Gestro. Adelante.
Keibert, felicidades primeramente. Expresa la emoción en el dugout con tus compañeros después de pegar tu primer cuadrangular en las Grandes Ligas.
Sí, muy emocionante, de verdad, con todos estos jugadores estrellas y feliz, contento y agradecido con Dios por este momento. Es algo que uno sueña desde pequeño y gracias a Dios se hace realidad.
¿A quién le dedicas esta pelota?
A mi papá y mi mamá.
Tu mamá. Ahora, ¿qué te parece la experiencia ahora que estás así sin los fanáticos? ¿Es tu primera vez, tu primera experiencia? ¿Cómo fue?
Sí, no, yo digo que no me, o sea, estaba nervioso, pero si hubiera gente, obviamente hubiera estado más nervioso, pero es la Grandes Ligas y aquí hay demasiado talento, muchos jugadores y seguir trabajando.
Última pregunta, es tú y Dustin May se conocen muy bien, trabajaste con él en Spring Training. ¿Qué es lo que te encanta del trabajo de él?
Sí, he venido echando a May desde Green Lakes, desde la media, y me gusta su energía, la energía que él tiene, la mentalidad que tiene ahí a pichar, o sea, emociona a uno también y lleva buen ritmo de juego.
Muchas gracias, felicidades.
We got time for one more. Go ahead, Ken.
Are you at a point in your swing development that you think you're now going to become a power hitter?
I mean, like I said, I'm gonna keep working, keep doing my things, and what happens. But yeah, I would like to be power hitter or average hitter, but I just wanna keep focused on get better every day, keep learning from these guys, and be focused for the next opportunity.
Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave Roberts now available. First question's from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Dave, how poetic that in his first at bat, Keibert Ruiz hits a home run and then he goes into the dugout and your veterans tell him that baseball is easy. How much fun was that whole sequence of emotions and events?
It was great. You just never know what's going to happen when a guy takes his first major league at bat, and just puts such a good swing on it. And the irony is that's something that the hitting guys and player development have really been working with Keibert on, as far as backspinning the baseball to the pull side. And that's exactly what he did. So that's a memory that he and his family will have forever. And couldn't be more true with those words that the players said jokingly. And they also said it's downhill from here. So it was a lot of fun banter. But Keibert did a great job with Dustin today, the targeting, the pitch sequences. What a debut.
The familiarity obviously is a bonus with those two, but Dustin seemed to struggle a little bit more in terms of pacing, particularly when he had runners on base. Overall, what did you notice from him?
I thought everything was good. Just the sinker didn't have that life that it typically does, that finish at the end. And the cutter just backed up a lot, and it just really didn't have that bite like it typically does. But the changeup, which he introduced a little bit more today, played well for him. But you just can't say enough about Dustin's stuff and his compete.
Yeah, you guys went off again on the long ball today. How good was it to see that offense continue up and down your lineup, and you get the sweep as a result of it?
No, it was great. The long ball played big. That 3-run homer from Corey was big, and to get Muntz to hit a ball to right center field, I think that was big. Obviously, took our walks, and the defense again. It just doesn't really tell the story in the box score, but the defense today came up big for us.
Finally, Ríos hamstring. Does he have an update on that tight hamstring?
It's going to be day to day, and he said he didn't hurt it when he was running. It was more the slide. So we don't know if it's a cramp because of the slide or it's a slight kind of strain, but it feels better now. It's going to be more day to day.
Okay, thank you.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dave, just how enjoyable are those moments when, you have a guy homer in his first at bat and just to see the joy in the dugout as he comes back and, some of the TV shots of the guys down in right field going after the ball?
It's playing big league baseball is a joy in itself, but when moments like that happen, it just takes everyone back to their first. We all had a debut and we all got our first hit and the position players, their first homer. So you remember that. And you remember what it meant to the player, to his family. And so it kind of just disconnects us from that moment as far as the game and puts all that attention on the player, which is always special.
And with Corey today, snapping out of that mini skid, was there something different he was doing? Was it just he needed to have a couple games to get his feet back under him after coming back?
No, I thought he was taking good swings. I thought he's seen the baseball well. You look at the first couple of guys that we faced, I thought they pitched him well. But yeah, I think he's been good swings, and to get that first hit and to hit the homer was big. Really nice swing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Got a question from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, Dave, you had kind of called it yesterday that you thought Max was closer than maybe the numbers had appeared. What were you seeing from him leading up to this game?
I was seeing not the lower chase the last few days. I thought I've seen more aggressive and better swings. And when I see him kind of not hitting the ball and releasing the barrel and grounders to the pull side, I know he's on his way to getting out of something. So, he gets his direction through the big part of the field. He's as good as anybody in baseball. And
then on Dustin, you talked about him kind of introducing the changeup better this game. Is it important for him to kind of have these games where, when maybe the sinker isn't working the way that it's used to, that he kind of just gets used to having to work on these secondary pitches and be able to just kind of find a way to get through it? Absolutely. And when you're talking about a major league starter, you've got to have different weapons because not every start you're going to have your complete mix. So obviously the stuff that he has, but certainly not having the cut fastball that he usually does, to at least get the guys off that cutter with the changeup certainly is a benefit. Thank you.
Got a question from JP. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, Dave, we've talked on and off here this week about sort of firing on all cylinders and you guys playing a complete game. And I'm just wondering if you think back to these last 5 wins in a row, seeing just the different guys who have contributed on offense, seeing all your starters, all your relievers do something to help win. How encouraging has this little 5-game mini streak been?
It's been encouraging, and not only the wins that we've put together, it's how we've gone about it. And I just think that it just wasn't synced up initially in the season, which is understandable. But this last week, the way these, during this win streak, it just seems like collectively all 28 players are playing as one. And, when we do that, we can be pretty good.
Got time for one more. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Dave, congratulations on the win. You talk about history. You talk about obviously celebrating today the 100th anniversary of the Negro Leagues around Major League Baseball. How important is to understand the history of what these players paved the way for players that are playing today in the game?
I think it's important, it's crucial, not only for Black players, for people that are from Latin America, from Asia, white Americans, it just doesn't matter. For Major League Baseball to acknowledge the 100th anniversary of Negro League Baseball, I think it's good. When you hear Campanella and Willie Mays and understand that certain guys that Josh Gibson, certain guys that also played in the big leagues, major leagues, that they might not have known started in the Negro Leagues. And this is our American history, and I think that education is great for everyone.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, guys.
Why was really. Yeah. Dustin May now available. First questions from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Dustin, first and foremost, what was it like throwing to your battery mate, a guy that's making his big league debut, but also a guy that you certainly know well behind the dish?
No, it was awesome. I mean, me and Keibert have gotten pretty close over the last 3-ish years. I mean, he's a great guy, and I really like the way that he calls the game. I mean, we've gotten pretty close. I mean, being able to throw to him and have the comfort level of being able to have thrown to him in the past, it was really nice to throw to him.
I mean, you get some one-on-one time with him before the game starts. Any words of wisdom that you imparted on him, considering you were in his shoes a year ago? Not even a year.
I was just telling him to stay calm. I mean, it's very exciting, and your debut. And I mean, it's just the big thing is just to stay within yourself. Don't try to do too much. I mean, he knows that he deserves to be here, and he's a great catcher, and he's going to be for a long time.
How exciting was it to see him in his first at bat get that home run? I mean, it seemed like even the veteran players were jumping up and down and really celebrating that moment for him.
No, for sure. I mean, if you can go up there, and I mean, people just want to get a hit in their first debut, much less a home run. I mean, he went up there and showed out. It was phenomenal. He got a great day today.
And finally, for me, Dustin, just your outing overall, how much did the change-up development kind of play a part in what you were doing today, and what do you take away from this one?
I mean, for me, it's always been there. I mean, I just haven't really found many great spots to throw it other than today. I thought it came along well, and I thought I played very great against this lineup. I mean, it was just kind of little miscues with execution, and a couple things didn't go my way, and got deep into counts and long ABs, and just, that's how it went.
Thank you.
Next question is from JP Hornstra. Go ahead, JP.
Hey, Dustin, going back to the changeup, is that your call? Is that Keibert, or is that really the two of you guys working together to sort of say, hey, this is the strength today, let's go with it?
Well, I mean, it was really a pregame thing. I mean, we had talked about it in weeks past that, I mean, I was trying to push the envelope that I wanted to throw it more, but I mean, we were just trying to find the right spots to kind of throw it out there. And I mean, I felt like today it was a great spot. I threw it pretty well today, and execution on it was probably one of my better executed pitches today, and I thought it came out really well.
Dave mentioned after the game just now that maybe there wasn't quite the same tailing action that you're accustomed to getting on the fastball. Slider was backing up a little bit. Just what was your observation, and is there anything you can attribute that to?
I mean, the heater, I mean, it was coming out well. I mean, it was just I was coming around my cutter too much, and it was backing up out of the hand. I mean, it was still executed well on some pitches, but there were some that were pretty bad. But I mean, I thought it played decently well off the heater today. It just execution and location wasn't where it needed to be.
Thank you.
We got another question from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dustin, just, after 5 starts now and kind of being able to get in a rhythm, I mean, where are the areas that you've been happiest with this season, and what are the spots that you still look at big picture as where your next steps need to be?
I mean, just staying in the zone is probably my biggest thing, and being able to put the fastball on both sides of the plate and then just kind of play off of that. I mean, it wasn't really going to the sides of the plate. It was a lot of middle pitches. I mean, it was still getting weak contact, but not much swing and miss on it at all. So for me, it was just I need to get back to corners and location, and I feel like it will play out.
How much are these games learning experiences right now? Like every time you go out, what kind of stuff do you pick up that you try to carry with you moving forward?
I mean, just trying to pick on batters' cues. I mean, there's small things where it's like if I'm dominating in, they start to see that, and you can start to see hitters adjust to it. I mean, you gotta change up your game plan. So it's kind of just going with the flow and being able to change on the fly in and out of the game. I mean, it's very important.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dustin. Thanks, everybody.